Hey guys, it's me Shadow Ace back here with another video. I know it's been quite a long while because I've gone on like a hiatus because I've been practicing other things or doing other things like schoolwork and practicing guitar. But now I'm back, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do the bridge because it was brought to my attention by one of my good friends, Dennis, that he didn't know how to do the bridge, and I thought quite a few people knew how to do the bridge. If you play cards, you probably do, but I'm surprised that a lot of people don't. And it's really not that difficult of a skill to take. It took me a while because I'm a very stubborn person. But for like a normal person, it should take anywhere from like a day to 2 days if you really don't know how to do it. So what a bridge is, right, is this. When you get shuffle the cards and you get into this position, like a bridge, and then they slide down. That's what a bridge is. It's nothing really fancy, or well, it kind of is, but it's nothing really big, and it's not really going to help you with magic or anything. It's just more of a flourish that you can show like at a party, or like if you want to show off that you can actually use cards, you can do the bridge. Now, I've seen a lot of tutorials online and stuff, but there's a few things they get wrong. And one of the major things is that when I did it, my thumbs were on top. A lot of people say push down. So as you can see, let me get back into the bridge position. We're here, right? After you're done shuffling. What you're gonna wanna do when you're getting into the bridge position is you're gonna wanna apply pressure here, but not like forcefully push down. Just like if your finger's tired and they want to lay down on a bed, they'd go in the center, directly in the center. And then what you wanna do is use these three bottom fingers and your index as like a guide so they don't shoot out this way. So you just like keep them right here. And then all you're doing with the cards is you're bending them to get into the bridge position. So here, bend. That's all you're doing, bending. So now a lot of people, what they're afraid of is doing a bridge will ruin their cards, but it's the exact opposite. What a bridge does is fix your cards from the bends it already got from you shuffling. It makes it a little more straight and a little more nicer. So now, with the bridge, another big misconception is that you're supposed to push down, use a lot of pressure here to make the cards go and slide off of each other. But again, that's another big misconception. Like I said before, it's more of like a guide finger. You lay it down there like it needs to rest. It's so that the cards don't go shooting out or like popping upward. So now that you have that, what you're going to want to do a lot of times is that they just tell you like to release the pressure from the side of your arms, right? Which is true. You're just gonna like want to release the pressure. But what helped me practice this is I actually opened up my hands. So I taught myself how they don't shoot up that way and how they don't shoot downward. I taught myself how to learn. So when you open up your hands like this, it's really not going to do anything. What you're going to want to do is open up these crevices. You're going to want to pull your hands apart so that the cards just naturally fall in like that. Because when you do that, when you're pushing them together, they're naturally going to want to just go down because cards aren't really meant to be bent, right? They can be, but they're wood and they're cardstock. So when you bend them, they really just want to kind of get back into the place they were. Okay? So, like I said before, get here, fingers on top, bend. Now, you can open up your hand if you want, you can keep it closed. If you really want to challenge and help you, teach you more how to keep control of the cards, you can open up your hands. But it's really up to you. And all you're doing is just pulling your hands apart and releasing the pressure for the cards to go down. Right? So, one more time, just so you guys get it through your head, because some people take a while. So here, open, close hands. And one last thing, thumbs. Most people are going to take it too seriously and just like relax their thumbs. Your thumbs are there for a small purpose, and that's so that when you push down on the cards, they don't shoot upward. So make sure that when you feel that pressure pushing against your thumbs, just keep them there. Like you're trying to hold the door closed from somebody getting in. That's really what you're doing with your thumbs. And now what I'm going to do is say some quick tips about the types of decks, types of cards you should use, new or older, off-brand, known brand. So let's start with the off-brand versus the known brand. So a good pick and cards I always use. I've had these for like 3 or 4 years already, and they still work perfectly fine for tricks and shuffling and cuts and stuff like that. Is Bicycle. You can never go wrong with Bicycle. They're pretty cheap, anywhere from $4 to $20 depending on the type of bicycle deck you want. And most licensed decks that are like known decks are licensed by Bicycle. So you can get that. And then there's like the nicer decks like Monarchs and stuff, which I have, but I just don't know where they're at, so I can't show you like an example. But those are also good. But the problem is that they're more meant to be used as like playing cards than used as shuffling. So what you're gonna do with those is most likely they're gonna just slide out, like when you're doing the bridge, right? They're just gonna slide off and go onto the ground. So I don't really suggest those, and those are quite pricey. So if you don't really have the budget for it, don't buy those. Bicycles always work. And if you don't have the budget for bicycles and you just want to buy an off-brand deck, that's also perfectly fine. There are some ups and downs with an off-brand deck. With an off-brand deck, a lot of cards are going to come together. For example, and this is also with old decks, but I'll get into that more in a minute. But like with an off-brand deck, let me try to show you with bicycle cards. You see this big, thick white gap here? That means that there's a lot of cards clumped together. They're like stuck together. And so that instead of it being one by one card by one card by one card, it's not like 1 by 2 cards by one card, or 1 by 3 cards, or 2 by 3 cards, right? Instead of it being one by one, just continuously down. So that's what off-brand decks are usually going to try to get you, is the clumpy togetherness cards that really don't do well with shuffling. But you can learn from them. I don't really suggest learning anything from off-brand decks. Doing tricks with them is great because they look cool usually, and they have like really cool designs because they're not meant to really be used. They're just like cool looking off-brand cards. But I don't suggest practicing with them, but if it's all you have, you can. And with enough time, you can get it looking like it's a nice branded deck if you know how to shuffle and do the bridge. Now, aside from that, let's go to newer versus older decks. With the newer decks, they're kind of good. See, there's some things that you're going to get out of a newer deck that you won't get out of an older deck. With a newer deck, you'll be able to slide the cards off easier, which will make the flourish look faster, make the bridge look nicer, bigger, and it's gonna like trickle down and you get that nice like sound when you do the bridge. But the problem is that they're also able to slide off more. So what you're gonna usually get, and this is my go-to practice on anything except for certain like cardistry tricks, is an old deck. Usually older decks, as you can see, they're usually just plain white on the newer decks. With older decks, they're darker and gray. And by older deck, I don't mean you go out to the store and it says older deck on the label. You're going to want to get a deck, use it for a good while. And like I said, I had that deck for about 3 to 4 years now, and it still works perfectly fine. So, but again, there's also problems with older decks. They stick together like the off-brand decks, and they're also, when you do your bridge, instead of it being a big glorious bridge, it's going to be this small bridge right here. Usually with newer decks, they have like a thick bridge and they go down faster. With older decks, they're going to be that slow like downward thing that you saw there. So that's pretty much it. It's up to you on what type of deck you want to use. My suggestions are an older bicycle deck, but if you want a newer off-brand deck or an older off-brand deck, or like an older Monarch, like a known brand deck, or an older known brand deck, you can go with that. But like I said, it's really up to you. I suggest an older bicycle deck, mainly the black ones, because the black ones don't, what's the word? They don't wear as easily. I just don't know what it is, because when I get red ones, you can see like the messed up details in it, while with the black ones, you really don't. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Do the usual YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, And I'll see you in my next video.